Hello students, in this video we are going to study space vector modulation. It is simply a modulation technique, and this modulation we are using to find out the triggering pulses for the inverter circuit. So in this particular video we are going to study space vector modulation. It is the last topic of the 5th module. Now you can see a simple inverter circuit over here. You can see that it has 6 switches which you are already familiar with. We had named it 1, 3, 5, 4, 6, 2. Here the numbering is not of any importance. Now before moving on to further details, that is the further slides, I will just tell you in a simple manner what is space vector modulation. Space vector modulation means we are going to take a phasor, and we are going to rotate it in the anti-clockwise direction. We are going to rotate the phasor in a anti-clockwise direction, and the rotation of the phasor will give us certain output signals, and these output signals will be provided to the inverter, and correspondingly we will be getting the output. Now the magnitude of this phasor will decide the output voltage of the will decide the magnitude of the output voltage. The magnitude of the phasor will decide the magnitude of the output voltage, and the time required to complete one revolution. The time required to complete one revolution will decide the frequency of the output waveform. So the time of the phasor is or the frequency of the output is dependent on the time period of the phasor, and the output of the waveform is dependent on the magnitude of the phasor. So this is basically what we are doing in space vector modulation. All we are doing is that we are going to rotate a phasor, and according to the rotation of the phasor we will be getting the output. Now before moving on to further details, we can just see one more thing. Over here you can see that 3 switches are there at the top portion and 3 switches are there at the bottom portion. So I am going to call the switches which are at the top. The switches which are there at the top, I will be calling it as the P switches, and the switches which are there at the bottom, I will be calling it as the N switches. Okay, so the top are called P and the bottom are called N. Now also we are familiar with one thing in the inverter circuit. If you are taking this particular section, you will be calling it as one leg of the inverter. So how many legs does this inverter have? It has 1, 2 and 3 legs, right? Our inverter is having 3 legs, and we know that in one particular leg, if you are taking only one particular leg, only one switch will be on at a time. If you are taking one leg, if you are taking this particular portion, you can see that if this P switch is on, the N will not be on. I told that the top switches are called P, bottom switches are called N. So if P is on in this particular case, N will not be on. Now suppose N is on, then P will not be turned on. So we just need to note that. And one more thing that you have to note is that in this particular inverter topology, you can see you have 3 legs. So if you have 3 legs, you will be having, for the space vector modulation, you will be having 2 raised to 3, that is you will be having 8 topologies totally. You will be having 8, not topologies, states. Okay, so you will be having 2 raised to 3. So if you have only, suppose you have only 2 legs, then you will have only 2 raised to 2, that is you will be having only 4 states for this particular topology. Now so over here you have 3 legs, that is why you will be having 2 raised to 3, that is 8 states, and the 8 states have been noted over here. Okay, the 8 states have been noted over here. So I already mentioned one thing, the top switches are called P, bottom switches are called N. In one leg only one switch will be conducting at a time. Now take a look at the first switch. First state, that is V1. V1 is our first state. We are going to consider V1 as PNN. You must study this in order, that is V1 should be PNN, it should not be any other state. So what does PNN mean? In the first leg, P will be on. In the second leg, N will be on. In the third leg, N will be on. Look at V2. In V2, it is PPN. What does that mean? In the first leg, P, second leg, P, third leg, N. And the remaining switches will be off. V3 is N, P, N. V4 is N, P, P, V5, N, N, P and so on. And V6 is P, N, P. Look at the last two topologies. The last two topologies are PPP and NNN. Okay, so these are the 8 topologies. You have to study them in order. You cannot change the order. So V1 should be PNN, V1 should be PNN, V2 should be PPN, V3 should be NPN, and if you know 1, 2 and 3, you can write down 4, 5 and 6 because 4 is the complement of V1. V1 is PNN, so V4 will be NPP. Similarly, 2 and 5 will be complements. So if V2 is PPN, V5 will be NNP. Then you have finally V3 and V6 will also be complements. So you have NN, NPN. Here you will be having PNP. Finally, V7 is PPP and V8 is NNN. So one more thing you can note over here is that in V7 and V8, will you be having any output? If you are looking at V7, the supply is starting from here, but it is not able to return back because all of the negative switches are turned off. That is why the supply is starting, but it is not able to finish and go back to the returning point. Therefore, the output is 0. Similarly, in V8, the supply is not able to start itself because the top switches are off. So, in V7 and V8, you have 0 voltages as the output, whereas in the other remaining 6 stages, you are having a finite output. So you can see over here, out of the 8 topologies, 6 of the topologies are known as non-zero switching states, and the 2 topologies, which are the 2 topologies you have V7 and V8, are called the zero output voltages or zero switching states. Okay, so you have 6 non-zero switching states and 2 zero switching states. Now, I have already mentioned this particular space vector modulation concept. That is a rotating vector in a circular orbit at a velocity of omega, and the 3-phase quantities are going to be represented in a 2-dimensional plane. That is, you have 3-phase rotating you have 3-phase voltages and they will be converted into a 2-phase voltage. We do not have to go in depth. If you want, if you are interested, you can just go through these equations. It's not compulsory. It's self-explanatory. You can just go through this equations if you want. I am going to move on directly to the first topology. As already explained, the first topology is PNN. Our first topology is PNN. I need to find out the line voltages during this particular moment. So the line voltages I want to get during this particular state. In this particular state, you can see if I want to find out voltage VAB. So VAB means the first and the second leg. In the first leg, P is on. In the second leg, N is on. Here P is on and here N is on. So you have the voltage starting from here. The positive is going to A and it is returning back to B and going back. So the voltage over here will anyways be VAB will be equal to VG. That is whatever supply voltage, the supply voltage over here was VG. So the supply voltage itself you are getting as the output. Next, look at VBC. So this is VBC, N and N are on. Both are at the negative terminal. At the positive terminal, nothing is turned on. In that case, the voltage is not able to start because both of the positive switches are off. Therefore, the output voltage will be 0. So you can note one thing, that if you have only one positive and one negative terminal on, only then you will be having an output. If either both of them are P or both of them are N, in that case the output voltage will be 0. Now next you are going to look, you have VCA. In C, N is on and in A, P is on. Okay, you need to find out VCA. In C, N is on and in A, P is on. The voltage is starting as usual, but it is first going through A and then coming back to C and going on. So voltage is starting from or passing through A first. So VAC will be positive VG, but we need VCA. So that will be negative VG. So just for your simplicity, you can take a generalization. You look at voltage VAB, A and then B. So for A, P is turned on and for B, N is on. So positive is anyways on in A. So that is why the output will be positive itself. If you are looking at VBC, I already mentioned in VBC only both of the negative are on. There is no positive. Only if one positive and one negative is there, you will be having output. So here the output is 0. Next you look at VCA. If you are looking at VCA, you need VCA. In C, N is turned on. You need VCA. In C, first letter is C over here, right? First letter is C. In C, N is turned on. N is negative. So that means our output voltage will be minus VG. I hope it is clear. Now, we need to represent these in the phasor form. So we drew our three-phase voltages VA, VB, you need VAB, VBC and VCA. So we drew them 120 degree apart and we marked the voltages. You have VAB is having a voltage VG. So you marked VG. Then you have VBC is 0. So it will be at the center itself. Then you have VCA is equal to minus VG. So first we drew the reverse vector and then we marked minus VG and we took the resultant of VG and minus VG. You got a voltage V1. I hope it is clear. We just took the voltages. We marked the voltages VAB equal to VG, VBC 0, VCA minus VG and we took the resultant. So VG and minus VG, we took the resultant and we got a voltage phasor V1. I will be explaining the second one also. The remaining you can just do it as a homework. I have just explained this portion. Okay. The second topology. The second topology is PPN. The second topology is PPN. And we need to find out again the line voltages. Now again you can look over here VAB. In VAB, P and P are turned on. In VAB, P and P are turned on. Negative, no switch is on. So therefore the output voltage will be 0. Next we are going to look at VBC. VBC, first letter that is coming in VBC is B. For VBC you have one P and one N. So you will be having an output. And you have VBC. So B positive is there. So you will be having positive VG. Next you have VCA. VCA. Now in VCA, again you can see over here you have a positive and a negative. But over here the first letter is VCA. And in C the negative switch is turned on. Therefore the output voltage will be minus VG. Again to explain the phasor diagram, we drew the three-phase line voltages VAB, VBC, VCA 120 degrees apart and then we mark the voltages. So VBC is positive over here, you have a positive voltage VBC, then you have minus VG. So you drew the negative phasor and you marked minus VG and you found out the resultant, you got V2. Now you have a phasor V2. So you must just take note of one point, in which direction was V1. V1 was in this particular direction and you have V2 over here. Now, the remaining states V3, V4, V5 and V6, you can just go and do it. It is given in the slides. I have provided to you notes. You can just go through the portions. V7 and V8, the output voltage will be 0 as already mentioned. So the output voltages will just be a dot at the center. Just look at the third topology, how the output phasor is. I am not going to explain it. You can just look at it and if you have doubts, you can ask me. The phasor V3 is over here. V2 was here. V1 was here. Now look at V4. V4 is here. V3 was here. V2 was here. V1 was here. Next, where will be V5? So you have V5 over here. You had V1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Next, the last phasor V6. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So now we are going to combine all of these phasors. V7 and V8 we know it is 0. We are going to combine all of the phasors that we obtained. On joining it, we can see that if you are joining all of the vectors together, it will be forming a hexagon. And this hexagon will be having 6 sectors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now, we mentioned that space vector modulation is a technique where you are going to rotate a phasor in the anti-clockwise direction. So, here you can see our phasor will be rotating in this particular direction, and when it completes one rotation, you will be getting one full cycle of a 3-phase voltage. 3-phase voltage, one full cycle you will be obtaining. So, this is just, I have already mentioned all of these portions. You have your phasor. See, you're going to rotate a vector v. You're going to rotate a vector v and you're going to rotate it over here. You're going to rotate it through this portion. As it rotates, you can see that as it is rotating, as and when it rotates, you will be getting the output. It will be all the three voltages will be getting as so, and it will be, you will be getting the complete three-phase output voltage. Now, these portions are, you can just read out, it has already been discussed. The main advantages of using the space vector modulation is you have a wide modulation, linear modulation range. Linear modulation is very important in the, you will be studying it in your further classes. The switching loss is less. You already know what is the switching loss. I am not going into depth to make this video short. I am not going into depth. The switching loss is low, total harmonic distortion is low, and also implementation is easy and the calculations are also simple. That is why space vector modulation is more preferred. If you have any doubts, you can contact me. It is a modulation technique used to control the switching of the inverters. Okay, this was the last topic of the module. I hope all of you will draw and study this portion. Thank you.